This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and Upsnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements, and The Abenda Chronicles. Grammy-nominated audios, videos, and MP3 series. You can find these MP3 series now at TaraInsight.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen. And my co-host and guest is Jason D. McKean. And Jason is the voice of over a million ohm recordings throughout the world. Yes, he's sold lots and lots of ohm recordings. And thank you, Jason, for being on the show today.
All right. Good morning, Tara. How are you this morning?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing great. It is the full moon tonight. It is at 1 degree Aquarius. It's really a beautiful, amazing. It's an amazing moon tonight. It is the first really amazing moon that we've had in a very long time, not because the full moon isn't amazing each and every time, but usually there's a lesson attached to the moon. And this moon is just about pure love. So I really love this moon. It's all about telling you to be charming again, and, really create an enchanting life in the next month. Learn to be, to prosper again, as far as your emotional nature, your lovable self, how you just give to others. It's all about that.
So this moon is called a charmed moon, or
well, I call it a charmed moon because it's just enchanting. It's all about relaxing. And we haven't had a relaxing moon. It's all been about stepping it up. Step up your career. Talk about things in your life. The moon talks about, if we listen to the universe, it gives us clues onto what we're supposed to be opening up in our lives. And always astrology, if you're into that, knowing how it's speaking to you, it's about opening up to, your courage, to your sustainability, to your manifestation abilities, to your skills, to your talents, to, and usually it's not hardcore telling you, but it's mentioning it to you. Like, this is what the full moon's about. It's the highest time on the planet as far as energy. It moves all the waters of the world, that magnetic force that's happening between the moon and the earth. And so it's a portal in its own right. And so it gives, since we're 90% water, and even though, sometimes they say lunacy because, the moon is making people crazy. Well, it's telling you to get your life in order. That's all it is, always, is get your life in order. And
so the energy, like, it raises, like
it raises it. The new moon, when it's total darkness, is the time when the shadows, it's on the opposite edges of the earth, the sun and the moon. That's the actual time of relaxation. It's the most peaceful time in the planet. Even if it can be a hard aspect, and telling you about what the aspect means as far as a hard aspect, but it still is about clearing whatever that is. If it's about clearing, any sort of secrets or, untruths in your life, it will allow you to do it gently instead of that, the moon is like your personal spotlight in the world. Everybody sees what's happening at that time.
Yeah, it's the thing about light. When you shed light onto something, it brings it up from the shadows into the fore, and one can maybe see things a little bit more clearly. I know. I was looking at the dictionary as far as like the definition of charm, right? And there is, that which is brought about by, seeming magic. It's like, oh my God, that's that enchanting kind of aspect. And then there's the, oh, that's charming, of the an act that endears one to another. It's like one builds adoration or so because of like something is charming, or a person, their personality is charming. And so when you use that word of charm, are you looking at it as someone like building their own like magical connection to
Yes,
the
to their life,
universe, to their life, to
to their life. Yeah, and to connect to them, to their true self.
Mhm.
And some people think their true self is to be negative, but that's the self, the conditioned self. The real self is within the light and within the openness of life, that we are to experience it on its highest level. And so therefore, yeah, it's to gain the light. And so, yeah, let it charm you, let it be beguiling and enchanting. We want life to be uh, to hold it into a beautiful present for us. It is our gift, and if we treat it like it is, then it becomes. But if we're always being in the no, naysaying and fearful of it, then we tend toward darkness. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not opening ourselves to accomplish, to find great love, to you know be healthy.
Yeah.
And our minds being healthy is a lot of it. That's why I love using hypnosis and hypnosis CDs and MP3s, because I really think it's important that everyone stays on track emotionally and mentally, that you just trick your mind, keep going, keep going, keep going. As far as you can make money, you can trust the universe, you can trust your life, you can trust yourself. This is part of the charm, is to charm yourself as well as, you don't have to just be charming others all the time. Charm yourself. Like, hey, I love that color today.
I'm
You know?
getting the vision of like the snake charmer, right? Who charms the snake out of the basket, right? As far as that part of ourself that is like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, you know what? Just charm yourself into the activity, right? It's like, no, you're going to get up, you're going to, you're going to get moving, you're going to like start enjoying the day. It's like you're you're using that magic to open up one's opportunities.
Right. Well, and it's to trust yourself to open to those opportunities. If you're doing the same negative things, or you're around the same negative people, or you're around the same, eating habits, or, unhealthful habits, whatever it is, you have to step into what's good for you and what's not. But the thing is to be charming about it. It's not to get after yourself. It's just to say, hey, it's time. It'd be really nice time. Hey, I like that cup, by the way.
Right.
I have
It's
a
a
copper cup.
it's a new one here
Oh, I love it. It's gorgeous. That is beautiful.
in honor of the moon, of course. It's
Yeah.
is it a
Mine
waning
is
or a
from
waxing?
Everest. Everest gave me this one.
What does it say on it?
There's copper on it.
What does it say?
Copper.
Oh,
It's
pupper?
copper. Yeah. Doggy. She loves dogs.
Oh
She's a
yeah,
dog for sure.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Cat and dog whisperer. Boy, that kid has it. Yeah. We'll teach her how to be a horse whisperer too pretty soon here. Yeah. The horses are charmed by her too. But
Yeah, and is that? Do you think that that's a natural like trait that people will show? Is that a
she's born at this time. She's born at 4 degrees Aquarius. And so this type of charm and is naturally within her. So yeah, no, she is a person who is like one with nature, and sees the best in others, always.
So you can see it in astrology. You can see it in someone's chart if they have the ability to, exercise that kind of magical connection.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, I do Eastern and Western astrology. So, I combine it. So I'm a kind of different astrologer that way. I take it all.
Yeah. I know that the two, there's like these points of difference that, there can be some fist fights that like, start between, any strict, like, astrologers, if they're just Western, if they're just Vedic astrology, but to be able to blend the two, I had, one explain it to me as, it's just kind of like just having looking at it from a different viewpoint, right? And then, looking to see which I always think, that there can be truths that are like universal truths that you can, see from those from different viewpoints, and you can like see the common threads. You can see what's universal about, those two viewpoints, and glean a higher truth from that.
Well, I'm like a mathematician, really, is how I view it. That ninth grade math class where everybody was saying, I'm never going to use this when I grow up.
That was me.
Yeah. And I use it every day. So it's been a phenomenal tool to have great math skills. And who knew? I didn't know.
Yeah. It's something that I was like not great at, and it was like, I'll never use that. And so I have, of course, used math, and everyone who's like, uses a computer and all that, it's like, my God, it's like, it's built on math. It's like, the programmers and all who have like, created this stuff. It's like, but
well, it's because they got into what they considered an interesting part of math. And that's where astrology comes in for me. All the scientific and the ancient, calculations and everything mean a lot to me, and I research it, and I'm always deeply intrigued, and I've just been deeply intrigued for all my life about it. Yeah. Really, since I picked up Linda Goodman's Sun Signs. Yeah. Started just simple, like everybody.
I think that book was in everyone's library.
Yeah. Well, and then I collected astrology books because I owned the Malibu Shaman for so many years. I collected a lot of astrology books, and I collected books all over the world. When I've traveled, I just would bring. There's one really big book that came out of New Mexico. It was a Sabian symbol book. And I didn't pick it up at the time in Australia because I thought, I'll just go home and I'll order it in New Mexico. Of course I didn't. And I've always, how regret like not picking up that one book that I wanted in my library. Yeah, it's so funny, but it was a huge book. And now, you can only have so many, your weight limit anyway.
Yeah.
I'm always somebody who takes clothes instead of electronics.
When you say it was a big book, was it like an 80-pound, like big tome there? It
was a tome. Yeah, it was a tome. So, I wasn't going to bring it back, but it's just funny. It's just like I need one more book. Like I don't need one more book, really. I have so many books, and I've read a lot of them, and I use them as research. So I see them all the time, but it was, I'm definitely somebody who thinks that my books are my friends.
Right. Yeah. And
to carry them around is a lot.
But I think that, books have they have a life of their own. It's like, because a relationship with a book is that you can, just go to it, just open up a section, right? It's like, you don't, like with a movie or something like that, any kind of like entertainment, it's like it's linear. It's like you start from beginning to end. A book, you can go to any part of it and just absorb that knowledge, and or reacquaint that knowledge with yourself, and then set it down and look to apply it. It's not as strict a we're again, with certain things you have to like go with it from beginning to end and all. And books you can just kind of jump around in, and you can get the message.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. Well, and you wrote a really great one just recently, the tarot book.
Thank you.
Tarot
Yeah,
Wizard.
I always
That's
keep it like right next to me there. The Magic Channel Tarot reading with the Tarot Wizard. That's me.
Nice. I love that, Jake.
And is it a math book? No. But it's
Tarot book, but
it is an experiential book. It's like people ask me like how long did it take you to write it? You can just write a book in like 3 months or something like that. And it did take 3 months to write it, but it took years to experience the what it is that one writes about. And
the wisdom, but within the book.
I know that that as an author too. It's like you don't just sit down and write a book. It's like you build upon your experiences, and it can percolate. It's like what you want to say. It's like what do I want to share with the world at this time?
Right. Yeah. What is it that I want to share? It's true. Well, not everybody knows I'm writing a book, but right now.
They do now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's 200 and something words in. So, pages in. So I'm cooking it.
I've started it, and it's a great book.
Oh, is it? Do you like it so far?
Yeah, I won't give away any of it.
Let's have to divulge it because no one else has ever done it. So it's going to be a great book.
Yeah, it's you're onto something.
And I have an agent. It's going to go. I want it to go out there. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it so far. It's very intriguing for sure for everybody. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Yes, and that's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's easy to read. It's for fun. Everybody like it. It's fun. I mean, it's serious, but it's an easy read. So back to astrology a bit. I have those charts. I have just Western astrology charts if people just want to pick those up. Just to know what your general astrology is, because it is fun. It is fun to start. And I don't have my best person to talk astrology with. She just died recently, Barbara May, and I just loved her so much. And she was really wonderful to talk to. And she was into the American Astrology Association. She'd talk to me about all the lectures back in the day, and Lois Rodden, who was just huge in that field as well. And it was always so interesting. And so I love all those astrology association, materials. And then, and so I just kept going is basically what happened. And now I'm at the point where, I only have a few people to talk to about astrology. One is Robert Lee Camp, who I just dearly love. And he's just an incredible astrologer. And the other person, I don't know if he's alive anymore, but he was really incredible. And I met him in a bookstore once, and I picked up his book, and he said, "Oh, that's my book." And I said, "Really? I love this book." And and it was the same. It's the same sort of thought process that I have with astrology. So we talked for hours.
Was he looming there in the bookstore just waiting for someone to get around his book? That's mine. That's my book. I wrote that.
No, I think that he was just looking in the astrology section to see what was happening. It was back in the day, when Barnes and Noble
Yeah.
Was huge. Yeah.
When there were bookstores
When
that
there
were
were
like
wonderful
a thing.
books. Yeah, I loved them. Yeah. Yeah, I lost a lot of trendy things back in the day because I didn't really do too many trendy things other than be interested in books, and I was always learning, and I'm still a little like that. I'll be locked in my study instead of, or locked at the vortex, which you're looking at now. That beautiful full moon there.
That's right. Yeah, the phases, the moon phases.
Yeah.
So when does the moon, what's the culmination of the moon?
Culmination is on the Eastern daylight time. It is 10:37 tonight is the culmination. So culmination means when it's the highest time. It's the absolute highest. So I always, even if it's the middle of the night, I get up to light a candle and to do some prayers. And I always do the waxing wane over the waning moon. So the thing is, the thing about it is it doesn't matter. It's a high time period. So you can be into it for a couple days. Like right now, we're completely in the waxing phase. And so, all day you could light a candle, say some prayers, write your list, whatever it is that you'd like to do. But it's all about tonight is really bringing yourself back into balance with being charming and to step into your best self when it comes to other people. So it's about kindness and being supportive and being supported. So this is the whole thing about this moon.
Yeah, you had mentioned love, and that's love that we extend to others, but to ourselves too.
Right.
The compassion, the grace that we show ourselves, and if it is like a relaxed kind of energy, as far as we can get hyped up. It's like the work that we will do as counselors is with individuals who they beat themselves up, because they're not good enough, or they're not enough. They're in that energy of lack for themselves, for their accomplishments, for the environment that they are in. And it's almost like, if you can imagine, just like kind of going to a spa, just kind of within, and just like soaking in like this energy of love, of compassion, is seeing yourself as a work in progress, that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to feel that perfection is going to bring you completeness. It's that's a carrot on a stick that a lot of people chase. And we do our best. We rise up to those occasions when we're called to. And if we fall a little short, then that means that there's more work to be done.
Mhm.
And we keep moving forward, and gaining an appreciation for our spirit. The amount of energy that we invest into building our life, our spiritual self, our physical self as well. It's like we're not to ignore one or the other. We're to integrate it all. Eat healthy, to exercise, to think of ourself as a holistic being. And something about the moon energy, it's like in the tarot, when the moon comes up, or there's cards that have like a strong lunar influence, like the high priestess, and a lot of others. It's like, it, that energy, it can be a subtle energy, the way it communicates to us. It may not be like the loud voice that says, do this, you got to do this now, this way. It can be a more gentler, intuitive energy. It can be a pull, like this magnetic pull towards something that you may feel, and it's like you'll have to think about it. You'll have to choose like what it means for you in that moment. And so moving through that energy, I like to say navigating it, because that's very much a verb, where one doesn't look to make it just perfect right out of the gate. It's like, there can be a little bit of trial and error. There can be a little bit of just like, you know, uncertainty, but where, you build that trust in yourself. And that's a part too of that self-love, of, giving yourself that grace to, um, just kind of recharge yourself, replenish yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Recharging. That's what it's about in life, right? Reactivating our life force.
Yeah.
The full moon kind of helps you get that back on track.
Yeah. It's a powerful force, the moon. It's like living next to the ocean. It's like, we feel, like the waves that will crash against our building at high tide.
Right.
And it's,
Say hi to everybody.
nature is something. You're like coming in and out there, Bentley. How are you, pal? Didn't Bentley just have a birthday?
Hey, Daddy, turned 10. My little pumpkin turned 10.
10 years old.
Goodness, yes, he did. As he snorts away. Love that little guy. He is such a persnickety guy.
So is this full moon, is it on the is Leo happening right now?
Well, Leo's happening, and then the opposition of the moon is always from the sun. So it's 1 degree Leo right now. So it is 1 degree Aquarius moon. Yeah.
What's the most charming of signs?
The charming, you know what? Everybody is made up of everything. So even when, you say that you're a Leo, but your Leo sits in the house of Libra. So you have an air influence. So it would be about fairness, about others, because it's seventh house. So it's all about the seventh house of getting along with other people, and you're a companion at all times. It would be that. And your moon is conjunct your sun. So it's all about your sun and your moon conjunct.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So are you saying that there's no specific sign that would just say, oh, you're that? Oh my God.
No, because now see, like Leos are all about creation. So that's why they are showy, and they're willing to experiment more than other signs are, because they're a forward movement anyway, but they show themselves in the world. There's a creative process that they're trying to accomplish in this life. And then, you have, like, say, Libra. Libra is all about beauty and fairness, but it is, it's a thinking sign. It's all about your mind and how you are connecting the dots in your life. And so those are become really important. So there is a lot of safety issues when it comes to other people, because Libra is always, you're a companion as well. That's the generalization of that. Yeah, that you're here to experience others, and how they help you and support you, and how you support them. And that's the general rule of that. So you being born in the seventh house would bring that. Whereas I'm born in the 11th house, Sagittarius in the 11th house, and I have conjunct my sun and moon also.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually that implies that the parents were madly in love when you have conjunct sun and moon. Yeah. And so the because there's no really difference between the parents at that point.
Right.
And so mine being, I'm in the house of Aquarius, and so Aquarius is all about the future and events and large groups of people. So it's not about having one companion; it's actually being for the good of all. So Sagittarius would be probably bringing my knowledge, my wisdom into a larger audience. So all my friends are usually in they're teachers or inspirers as well as just, you know, people who want to learn really wonderful things about life. So there's the, you know, it becomes combinations for people. So it's I read a lot in you know, everybody's charts. Yeah, where they're going, why they're going there, what they need to accomplish in their life. You know, do hypnosis, just get you to the next level. You know, I've been working a lot with transplant people. You know, people have had kidney transplants. Then I had another kidney and pancreas transplant. I just started working with. Somebody wants to give me a heart transplant. So, yeah.
Are you going to move towards that?
No, I don't know. It seems like it's in the air, but I do hypnothesia too, which is you don't want to take the time to listen to any MP3s. Certainly, I'll, you know, put you on the table in a surgery center, and an anesthesiologist will just take you down, and you'll embed those suggestions that you create, that I tell you, into your brain. There you go.
Yeah, that's an important part of it, is that pre-meeting, you know, as far as like the where one can like design suggestions, right? Like the areas that you want to move in. Do you feel that I guess this is a serious question. Do you think that people know what they want for themselves?
Well, I think that people get stuck in bad habits, and so they just get stuck. And I think that they want to overeat, or they want to overindulge in something, and they don't know that there's easy solutions to actually come back into balance.
Right.
So it's just coming back into balance wherever your life is. You know, money, you know, and thinking that you can't. The earth is what I find, and what I teach people is the earth is abundant. It's prosperity at all levels. It is ours by birthright. We are here to experience just the magic of what life has to offer. So if we go ahead and step into our personal best, then we can have it, because and it's not being like grabby to it. It's just having an easy flow, just opening our chakras, our emotional centers, you know, that it's okay for us to have it. Instead of, you know, a lot of people have a lot of guilt, or a lot of preconceived ideas and notions that you have to either like work hard instead of work smarter. You know, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, people are tearing each other down sometimes. You know, there's people who come together. I call it either there's a great compliance or there's a vendetta. And a lot of times even love relationships can be vendettas. And so, you know, it's a really, you know, I study this all the time. You know, it's my fascination of studying it through astrology, just studying it psychologically.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is kind of the you know, it's where one places themselves as a counselor too. You know, for others, one can, you know, just be on the outside looking in, and be able to see a lot of different dynamics at play within couples, within individuals, just to see where someone is coming from, and to see if they're doing things in a way that is benefiting them, or if they're, they can be, sometimes like locked in a certain pattern that they may not be totally aware of too. And through meditation, through the process of centering oneself, of um, building consciousness, one can expand their own perception of themselves. They can begin to see perhaps even deeper purposes for themselves too.
Right. And well, and sometimes people don't have a strong, what they consider a strong purpose, but maybe your purpose is just to come to love. Maybe your purpose is just to, to really have a good, wholesome heart.
I think that with the glut of like superhero movies that are that dominate the entertainment spectrum, it's like not everyone is here to save the world, right? Not everyone is here to do that. Sometimes just being a solid citizen, just being solid within your own environment, where it's like you're nurturing and building the people around you as well as yourself. That can be enough. And it's the amount of investment that you give. It's that open, where you're an open being, as far as that channel of energy is flowing, and it's not blocked, and there's no resistance to that identity, that taking ownership of who it is that you are and what it is that you're here to do at all levels. It's like there's no shame or anything, and the size of one's vision.
Right.
It can be, I think because we're in America.
Yeah.
America is like a bigger, better,
Right.
that's been the mindset for a really long time. And it doesn't have to be that grandiose for everyone. It's like not everyone is in that where they're wired for it. Not at this time. Maybe
a lot
it's
of that now. The young kids come in and they're not into huge lifestyles. They're into farms, or they're I have several clients who do farms now, and they're young kids.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted to go back to the land.
Yeah, it can be part of the larger balancing act too, of the universe.
They
where
don't want to own anything. There's a lot of those too. The market kind of pushed them out to not own anything, but now they renegade it. They love it. Yeah. I've seen a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the full moon tonight. It's going to be great. So, setting your intentions. And your intentions are, if you're feeling like you don't have enough friends, or that people don't appreciate you, you are knowing that you're attracting the right people and not the wrong people. And if it's all about, centering yourself, it's all just about centering yourself and becoming your own best friend as well. Yeah. And start working on your stuff.
So would you say that it's a time of action?
It's a time in getting your mind in order to start. Yeah. To allow yourself to be supported as you support others. So say wanting to work on your weights, say you want to go, so you have your mind, get your mind back in the right place of, okay, I'm going to start eating better food. I'm going to start you make a plan for yourself. And so you become charming to yourself. Just become charming to yourself. You want to go to a gym, go to a gym. You don't have to stay there for hours at a time. Go for 20 minutes, go for 15 minutes. Just go. You go and get out. Just go on a treadmill for 15 minutes. What's the deal?
Mhm.
And then, you just begin. You just begin to do more things, and you get yourself out there and to be more confident in anything. So it's just, setting yourself up. And it could be just walking around the block. Just start getting out a little bit. Knowing, life is there for you. Go sit in the woods, go sit in the park, go sit, somewhere that you feel good about, even a library. Just go off and feel good about yourself somewhere. Invite your friends to tea, a friend to tea, just even if it's at Starbucks. Anything.
Trying to think of the last time that I was in a library.
Gosh, I've been down, it's a couple of years ago now, to the UCLA library.
Yeah.
It's great. It's beautiful. God, the roof in there and everything. It's gorgeous. Love it.
Yeah, I used to go to the Anchorage library,
Mhm.
and it's like one of the books that I read
Mhm.
in the downtown Anchorage library was Out on a Limb by Shirley MacLaine.
Oh my God, how fun is that?
That was in like 1983 or 4.
Wow.
And little did I know that, that would, spark like a career path for me.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew? You were just going for it full on too, and you had no idea. You thought he thought he was this little rocker running around the country. Well, 6'4", little rocker. Yeah, just running around the countryside. Yeah, living in your van, being in New York City. Yeah, you came back to a real life.
Came back to a metaphysical life.
Metaphysical life, and producing a lot of it.
Yeah.
A long time. Behind the scenes. Yeah, production. Art director, great art director. You're just fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
And then we brought him out behind the curtain. Oz became. And he's now the Om Tarot Wizard.
Yeah, and it's like the tarot has brought me out to doing meditations and all. I'm doing a meditation in Japan at the end of next week. There at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And that's one, because I think that a lot of people who are just getting into meditation, they may have like a misconception about, it's like they of course want the 3D IMAX experience there to go on within their being, but sometimes it's a more subtle process. It can be where you're just hearing things, or you're knowing things within that aren't like just the booming voice of the goddess, who's like, it can be just snippets here and there as you're starting out. It's like the practice that one begins is practice, and it's about letting go a lot of times, with this type of work where one, it doesn't just start to get into their head and say, well, it's got to be like this, and it's got to like have this full on narrative that I'm creating for myself. It's just like, let it go, observe it, see what's taking place. And so this meditation that I'm doing is like a workshop where we focus on specific senses, our mind's eye, hearing, smell, touch, and people can see that they can check in with themselves and say, oh, I really experienced that pretty vividly. when I was asked um, to taste a lemon, right? It's like
God, I'm empathic already.
yeah.
Ah,
Some people will not get, register anything, right? And so it's if you're not wired for that, it's like, work on those areas, expand the ones that you can, and so that you're not feeling cheated, in the meditative experience, because it is a very personal one that, it's like what you get is not what necessarily someone else is getting.
mm-hmm.
And so um
Oh, that's true. Always. Our
yeah,
personal blueprints. Who knew?
well,
All these people on the planet, we're all different.
it's like
We're all the same and all different.
as well as anyone, as far as like, when you get a bunch of people in a room together and you're creating a meditation or so,
Mm-hmm.
and you start asking people, what did you receive, what was and they're all different. Everyone is different. How they get the information can be different. And so anyway, that's a meditation I'll be facilitating in Japan at the end of next week.
Do
And
you have it for America too?
well, it's in like my part is in English,
Okay.
because my Japanese language skills they leave something to be desired. But the translator that I work with, Makiono, is amazing. It's wonderful. And so it will be both in English and Japanese. Unfortunately, the ad for it is in Japanese. So if you like click on the link, it's like, huh? For
Well, maybe
most
you can
Americans.
get help to somebody if they want to come in.
Of course.
Then you can come in, and you can put them with the right people too.
I will refer you to the correct people to sign up for the experience.
Maybe that's even a nice little ad, actually, for if somebody wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be in Japanese and English.
Nice. Yeah, and it's like it's all about your experience anyway. And it's like it doesn't matter that there's two languages going on. It's about your experience in it.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it, Jason. Well, thank you. What is your website?
Website is jasondmckean.com, and it's Jason D. McKean on Facebook as well, and Jason Tarot Wizard on Instagram.
Right. And do you have Facebook room?
That's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Facebook rooms and all that. I don't at this point, but if anyone needs to contact me for any type of tarot session or meditation, past life regression, then yeah, it's like just contact me through Facebook or so. What do you do in a Facebook room?
Oh, well, I meant room on your Facebook page. Oh, yeah.
Because I think there's a room too. I think there's.
Well, we do it. I've done it with Scott. Scott does Facebook rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our brother Scott. He does Facebook rooms.
So it's just
for all of us to come in.
A gathering space.
Gathering space. Yeah. So
unlimited.
Right. No, I don't know. I haven't explored it.
Okay.
So the thing with with my Facebook, in 2009 when my Facebook was completely filled. So I have 2 Facebook pages, and there's always some room. And then and then Terra Insight, Terra_Insight on Instagram, and then TerraInsight.com is my website.
How do you spell that?
TerraInsight.com. Yes. So this full moon, We're going to light a candle. In the West, it is at 7:37. So tonight's just the perfect moon night for everybody to get together. I already have a couple people that are coming in, some clients. So it's going to be fantastic.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And, yeah. So the thing is that last night it had a little green ring around it. It was so incredible. Yeah. I don't even know what that means other than maybe it's just loving the earth.
Oh, it's heart chakra.
Yeah. All about the heart and all about the loving the earth and being in complete sync. Yeah, it was so beautiful. So yeah, Everest and I were out looking at the moon because I have a little moon ears.
So when you're doing your like process there,
Yeah.
right? Were you looking at your moon ears?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. when you're
my personal space. Yeah, go on.
When you're doing a ritual or a process there, is it it's guided, right? It's like you're guiding it, and then there's like quiet time,
to connect, and then I do a meditation, personalized meditation, whatever the moon is and whatever anybody else's stuff is that I need to create for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go hours and hours
for their to unblock them in any way.
Yeah.
I stay out hours, and then I up in the middle of the night a few times. The moon calls me all the time, and I've been so lucky. Places where I am, like even when I'm in Alabama or Florida, I'll be all of a sudden just look out because I always have my windows, unshaded, and so I the moon will be looking in at me. And and I did. I know my bedrooms. The moon looks in. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing energy. It's so powerful, and I feel that.
My Lake Arrowhead house used to have 2 triangular windows. It was a octagonal type shaped house. It was a dome house, but it had 5 peaks, and so everything was triangles. The whole thing was triangles.
Yeah.
So it had these 2 triangle sun, would have windows in the ceiling, and
Skylights.
Yeah, and it would be so cool. I'd wake up and the moon would be shining in on me through the
just like right there through the
yeah. Do that. So and I've gotten pictures of that over the years, but it was just fantastic.
Yeah, it's like the symbolism too of that, triangle.
Yeah.
And the moon coming through that.
Yeah.
The power of 3s.
Yes, the power.
I did like geometry, like in math class. That part of math I liked. It was when it went into algebra and stuff like that.
Right.
9th grade math.
Well, thank you, Jason, for being on the show, and I want everybody to have an amazing, beautiful full moon. And
love, self-love, right?
Yes. Self-love.
Thank you, Tara.
Beautiful.
Blessings to you.
The charm moon. Happy full moon.
Thank you for listening to Transformations with Tara. Tara hopes this program brings guidance and insight towards a better tomorrow. If you have any questions or inquiries, or would just like to know more about Tara Sutphen's workshops and seminars or private sessions, please visit her website now at tarainsight.com. Until next time, many blessings.